Part 2 of Comedy DVDs. Ahoy hoy everybody, and welcome to part 2 of Look at My Comedy DVDs. So as I explained in part 1, this is just basically stand-up, sitcoms, sketch shows, some comedy films, if they're spin-offs from TV shows, anything else comedy you can think of. All sorts of eras, from 60s to more or less present day. Let's just carry on. And we have Sayles. This is volume 4. I have all the volumes of Sayles. They will all crop up. In the previous part I showed a different Les Dawson series. So as I said there, I really like Les Dawson. He does tend to repeat material a bit. There's a bit of a downside with him. And the shows they're sort of a third of it's excellent stuff, a third of it's good stuff, and a third of it's a bit filler. He has some good musical guests as well, which also helps. But yes, that's series 4 of Sayles. This is John Richardson live in Idiot. Do like John Richardson live. Did see him tour, or I think it was a tour after this, which I have a DVD of and I will talk about when I show that. But yeah, I find him very funny, and this is a funny stand-up DVD. DVD extras, Complete Idiot and a couple of idiots. I can't remember what they are. We have Vic and Bob's House of Fools Series 1. Signed by Vic Reeves and Bob Mortimer. So this is bought with my HMV loyalty points. Pure, was it called? How soon we forget. But yes, we use that to buy this. Love Vic and Bob. Have done ever since Big Night Out. House of Fools was genius. Absolutely loved it. Never fails to make me laugh. This has got outtakes behind the scenes with Bosch and Vic and Bob set tour. But yeah, just hilarious, and really happy to have a signed copy of that. We have Life's Too Short with a loose disc. So this is the sitcom written by Ricky Gervais and Stephen Merchant. A fictional life of Warwick Davis. Very funny. It was just for one series plus a special. I don't have the special. I did look about an hour ago on Amazon, and they don't have it in stock at the moment. I might have to resort to eBay to get it, but I do intend to because it was very funny. But yeah, really enjoy Life's Too Short. This is Stuart Lee's Comedy Vehicle Series 1. Yes, so this was Stuart Lee's comedy vehicle, basically. So Stuart Lee, the great comedian, talked about him a bit in part 1 because I showed Fist of Fun. He's hilarious, he really is. Some people don't like him, and I can see why, but he's a master at his craft. The comedy vehicle shows were half-hour shows that were primarily stand-up, and they were probably recorded as him in front of an audience doing stand-up, but with occasional sketch inserts to emphasise a point. Very, very funny. This contains Behind the Wheel, which I can't remember what that is. Stuart Lee versus Armando Iannucci, which is Armando interviewing him about the show. And audio commentaries as well. Great show. Very funny. This is Joker's Wild, the complete second series. So this was a comedy panel show in the 70s. Probably started in this was screened in 1970, so I should imagine it started in 69 series 1. We'll find out when we get to it because I have that on DVD as well. But basically it was comedians up against each other telling jokes. It's hit and miss. The atmosphere is always fun as they banter against each other, but some of the humour's a bit dated, obviously. Some of the performers don't quite hit the mark. They might have been funny at the time, they might not even have been funny at the time. But there's some good people on here. It's hosted by Barry Cryer, Ted Ray and Arthur Askey are the regular team captains, I think. It's quite a while since I watched these, but I think that's right. Les Dawson's on quite a few, and it always wins. Clive Dunn, Lance Percival, Jack Douglas, Graham Stark, Eric Sykes, Kenneth Connor, Stanley Unwin, Ted Rogers, among others. They only released 2 series, Network, which is annoying because some of the later series John Cleese was on, so I'd like to own those. This is Reginald D. Hunter live. This is from 2011. God, doesn't feel that long ago that I bought this. I like Reg. He's a funny guy. This was really good. His craft is really good. He's a good storyteller. He's very funny. He works the audience really well. He doesn't pull any punches with his material. Liked this a lot. It sort of surprised me how good it was. This is Sean's Show, starring the late great Sean Hughes, the complete first series. This was his Channel 4 sitcom, which I absolutely loved. It was around the same time he did Buzzcocks. So it was when he was, really in the zeitgeist. I saw him live around this time as well. It was very good. But it's a silly sitcom. And he's always breaking the fourth wall and talking to the audience, etc. It's just about, his love life and stuff like that. It's just, nothing complicated, but really good. Really very funny. Pardon me. We have Volume 1 of Says Les. So, as I said earlier, this volume consists of a complete 3rd and 4th series. Series 1 and 2 no longer exist. So what did that say what that one was? Yeah, so Volume 4 was 9 to 11. And that's how I've got the rest. Then we have Curry and Chips. I sort of got this out of curiosity because I do love Spike Milligan and Eric Sykes. I'm not going to lie, I did laugh a fair bit during it. It's written by Johnny Spate, who did Till Death Do Us Part and what have you. It's based on an idea of Spike. It's from 1969. So Milligan plays Kevin O'Grady, who's mixed Asian and Irish. The idea of it was basically to confront bigotry. At that time, the Irish were the subject of loads of jokes, and obviously blacks and Asians were the subjects of loads of jokes and hatred. So the idea is he works as a builder. No, not a builder. In a factory. Sorry. And, he's the butt of all the jokes. And it's trying to shine light on that. However, for that to work, they don't need to have somebody blacking up to play that character. So it fails there. But, as I say, the heart of it is good. And it did make me laugh a fair bit. I mean, Spike's a genius. Eric Sykes is a genius. Not as bad as you might think. Let me put it that way. Okay, let me grab a few more. Hang on to that. Okay, I showed a couple of Count Arthur Strong live DVDs in part 1. This is the 3rd series of his BBC sitcom. Absolutely hilarious. Very few sitcoms have made me laugh as much as Count Arthur Strong. I was not really familiar with Count Arthur Strong before the sitcom. I'd heard of him, and I'd caught a few excerpts of a radio show. If I was flicking through, when I go to bed, I like to either have a panel show from Dave on, in the background to fall asleep to, or if they're showing a film, as they do sometimes, and there's nothing else on any other channels, I'll go to Radio 4 Extra. That's what it's called now, isn't it? And just stick that on because it'll be a comedy of some sort. And so I'd caught bits of the radio show on that and wasn't overly impressed listening in excerpts. So I basically watched Series 1 of Count Arthur Strong purely because Graham Linehan co-wrote it. And I laughed so much. So after Series 1, we went to see him live, where we met Steve Delaney, who is Vic Count. And I bought a tin with all the radio shows on CD in, which he signed for me, and listened to all those and absolutely loved them. And now I love every variation of Count Armstrong, because the stage Count Armstrong is different from a radio Count Armstrong, who is different from a TV Count Armstrong. You know, it's obviously a commonality, that's the phrase I'm looking for, between them all, but his character is slightly different in each of them. But yeah, love. We have Dara O'Brien Talks Funny live in London, so I've shown a couple of his stand-up Blu-rays. This is from his 2008 tour. He's just so good. He is another one who's just a master at his craft. So he comes on, he talks to his front row, he gets, a decent amount of material from his front row. Then he effortlessly goes into the material he had planned, comes back for the interval, has another bit of banter with his front row, and then goes back into his planned material, and then at the end wraps it all up and thanks all his front row, etc. And it's just always a joy, always very funny. This has also got a recording of his show in Dublin, which is mainly the banter bit of it, because the normal material is repetitious. And then on all his DVDs and Blu-rays, he has an in-vision commentary with one of his friends, and they play a drinking game very often with it. And in this one, it's got David Mitchell. And the world's shortest extra, one joke long. Can't remember what that was. Another Milton Jones. Is that in this part? I think that was the end of the last part. So this is Milton Jones live on the Universe Tour, Part 1, Earth. So as I said then, he is hilarious. I love him. The constant puns always get me. Laugh a lot. However, although I didn't have this problem when I was there watching him live on DVD, it does you tend to peak and trough. You sort of, the constant gagging, so you wear out after a while. But it's brilliant. Highly recommend. Russell Brand, Scandalous live at the O2. I'm in a funny place with Russell Brand. He annoys me a great deal, but I like his stand-up. I have, I think, all his stand-up DVDs, which you will see, and I've enjoyed them all. I do find him very funny. I just find him annoying as a person, basically. So this is from somewhere. This is after Saxgate, when him and Jonathan Ross got into trouble. Loads of extras on it as well, behind the scenes stuff, an interview with Frank Skinner. Yeah, as I say, really like his stand-up. Red Nose Day, 25 Monster Years. 75p from this DVD goes to Comic Relief, and I think it was a tenner. That's not great, really, is it? So this was from 2011. Oh, so it's from... Because first Red Nose Day was 88, but Comic Relief started in 86. This has got all sorts of moments, which it doesn't even list anywhere. But all the sort of special sketches, or most of the special sketches from various sitcoms and sketch shows and what have you are on here. All sorts of stuff. Pretty much everything you'd want was on there. Paddy McGuinness Plus You live. See, I've bought quite a few of Paddy McGuinness's live DVDs, but I never find them particularly funny. I don't know why I kept buying them. I think I wanted them to be better than they were, because I like him, and obviously I love him in Phoenix Nights and Max and Paddy. But, I mean, they're okay, but they're just not great. And finally, for this part, this is great. This is an Australian release of Tim Minchin's Ready for This tour. There is a UK version of this, but it's a entirely different show. So I wanted both. Although a lot of the material is the same. He does tailor it, obviously, to the UK and Australia. And the performance is entirely different. The stage setting and what have you. And it's just get as much tin minching as you can give me, basically. So this is in a nice slip case, and then a proper case, and a songbook in there as well, with all the lyrics and what have you. And it is just absolutely genius, hilarious, 10 out of 10 comedy. Okay, that will do for part 2. God, this is going to take a long time. Thank you for watching. Keep an eye out for the next part. They'll all be on the playlist. Like, comment and subscribe, and I'll see you in another video. Thanks. Bye.